Okay, right, so this lesson we're going to do the input for, and we're going to be writing a diary for Neil about Neil, right. Hello Cheswell class. Right, today this video is going to talk about, and we're going to talk about writing a diary for Neil Armstrong and what it was like for him, and thinking about what it was like for him when he was getting ready and to get onto that rocket, Apollo 11, to go up into space, and what he was thinking at the different times of the day. Okay, so I've got, just like on your sheet, I've got Dear Diary, and I've got July the 16th, 1969 at 9 o'clock. Okay, I also have the instruction sheet as well, okay, just out of shot. So it says on that instruction sheet, the moon landing was watched by over 600 million people. Some recorded it through the doors of a diary. I would want you to write a diary as Neil Armstrong. Below are some of the events that happened and when. So this event on that sheet says, on the morning of July 16th, 1969, the United States of America got ready to launch its Saturn V rocket from the launch pad 39A at Cape Kennedy in Florida. So we don't want to write just that. We want to talk about the facts, so the things that happened, and also how Neil was feeling, how Neil felt. Okay, so we're telling it from his point of view, which means we need to use I and we. Okay, and the story needs to be in the past tense because he's writing it and he's recounting. We've done lots of recounts, so it's talking about something that's already happened. Okay, so let's talk. So July the 16th, 1969, what is he doing? So he's walking towards the launch pad. So at this point, he's probably actually getting to the bottom of the launch pad and going up in the lift, getting ready for the rocket. So I stood in the elevator, so that's what they would have used. Ready I stood in the elevator ready to head up and I stood up in the elevator and actually no, let's start that. Let's talk about the kind of day it was. Let's forget about that, let's start again. So it's always good to talk about the weather in a diary. So it was, a rocket cannot take off if it's bad weather, so it's got to be really sunny. So it was a lovely, adverb, sunny day. And this is where we can say where he was, at Cape Kennedy. Name of a place, so needs a capital letter. It was a lovely sunny day at Cape Kennedy, and we were ready to go to the moon. Full stop. Nice big sentence there. It was a lovely sunny day at Cape Kennedy and we were ready to go to the moon. This is where we talk about what he did before. So I was standing in the elevator with Buzz, not from Toy Story. Could always put Aldrin as well. So Aldrin I was standing in the elevator with Buzz Aldrin, ready, and our engineers ready to make my way up, because the cockpit in a rocket is right at the very top, so they would have had to take an elevator all the way up. So ready to make my way up to the cockpit of Apollo 11. Full stop. Okay, now I've talked about the facts, I've used I, I've used we, now we need to talk about how he was feeling. So put yourself in Neil Armstrong's shoes. If you were going into space, you were going to land on the moon for the very first time. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you a bit of both? Okay, is your hand shaking because you're a bit nervous? Have you got a massive smile on your face? I think he was probably a bit of both. So I was smiling excitedly. Thinking of going up into space. What else could we think about? I was smiling excitedly thinking, but, and we're about my full stop, but a little nervous. My hand was shaking. Full stop. And I'm going to stop it there. So I've split it into three sections really. First of all, talking about what the day was, what I could, what I could see. So it was a lovely sunny day at Cape Kennedy and we were ready to go to the moon. Then what Neil was actually doing. I was standing in the elevator with Buzz Aldrin and our engineers ready to make my way up to the cockpit of Apollo 11. Then how he was feeling. I was smiling excitedly thinking of going up into space, but a little nervous. My hand was shaking. Okay, so it's splitting each bit into three parts. Now I've run out of room on my board, but if I was to look at the next bit, which is this is the same day but 9:30, on launch day, Collins, Armstrong and Aldrin sat at the very top of Saturn V in the command module. At 9:32, the engines fired and the rockets launched. Well, that's what we want to talk about. So that would be the next bit. What would we be talking about? What would be happening? Well, if you're looking up, you're looking out, you're still seeing the nice weather, okay? But what could you hear? You're going to hear the rumble of the engines. Your seat might start to vibrate as the rocket fires up, okay? You can hear the countdown. We counted down in our heads: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. The rocket shoots up, getting faster and faster into space. Was he still nervous? Was he still excited? That's what you can talk about. Was anybody talking? Could they talk? What do you think? And then go on. The next bit, 11 o'clock, hour and a half later, they're in orbit. What could they see? They're looking back down onto the Earth. What do you think they could see? The clouds, the continents? Could they see the stars? Could they see the moon already? But it's always going about how he felt and what are the facts. What could he see? What could he hear? As well as what he's thinking. So you've got 2 days to write this. I would do this, 2 sheets of paper, do one day, one the next. Okay? Keep going back to this video if you need to. Tomorrow, Friday, if you need to go over it and think, right, what did Mr. Copping talk about? Look at this video again think about it. You can still use your common exception word map from your English, putting those in. It's the same kind of toolkit, because in the toolkit I would usually have things like diary and the time, but I've put those in for you. So all you need to do is the writing bit. Go have some fun. Imagine what it would be like to go up into space and to land on the moon. Good luck, guys.